Welcome back to the show, everyone. I'm Jake, and today I'm thrilled to be joined by Rachel, a true expert in the field of hospice care leadership. Rachel, it's wonderful to have you here.
Thank you, Jake. It's a pleasure to be here and discuss a topic so close to my heart.
Our episode today is titled Beyond the Paycheck, Finding Purpose in Hospice Leadership. We're really going to explore how a personal calling and those intrinsic rewards truly drive effective leadership and goal attainment in such a vital area of healthcare. Rachel, what initially drew you to the unique challenges and profound rewards of hospice leadership?
Well, Jake, for many of us in this field, it's not just a job. It's a deeply personal commitment. There's an undeniable sense of purpose that comes from supporting individuals and families during such a critical time, and that intrinsic motivation is what sustains you through the demanding aspects of the role.
That's a powerful way to put it, Rachel. It really highlights the unique blend of compassion and professional skill required. When we talk about the evolution of hospice leadership roles, what are some of those essential skills that have become increasingly vital for leaders in this field?
Well, Jake, beyond that intrinsic drive, effective communication is absolutely foundational. We're talking about verbal, written, and even formal communication skills. Leaders need to be able to articulate vision, persuade, motivate, and truly influence others, whether it's staff, families, or external partners.
So it's not just about conveying information, but about inspiring action and building consensus. I imagine as organizations grow, the administrative and strategic aspects become much more complex too, right?
Precisely. Strategic planning has become paramount. Leaders are now deeply involved in financial administration and sophisticated personnel management. It's about ensuring the organization is not just compassionate, but also sustainable and efficient in its operations.
And with healthcare constantly changing, I'd imagine the ability to manage and facilitate change within the organization is also a relatively newer, critical skill.
Absolutely. Change is constant, and hospice leaders must be adept at guiding their teams through it. Beyond that, there's a significant emphasis on teaching, coaching, and mentoring. Developing team members isn't just a nice to have, it's essential for maintaining high standards of care and fostering a strong, resilient workforce.
That makes perfect sense. Shifting gears a bit, what about the specific role of hospice physicians, or HPs, as consultants? How has that aspect of their leadership evolved?
HPs are increasingly expected to provide consultative assistance in clinical care, which often means navigating incredibly complex regulatory structures. It's a specialized skill set that requires both deep medical knowledge and an understanding of the intricate legal landscape.
And I'm sure that involves a lot of collaboration with other healthcare professionals, not just within the hospice team.
Exactly. Experience in working collegially with nurses, therapists, social workers, and other providers is vital. The role often involves providing what we call teachable moments, essentially educating other healthcare providers on hospice and palliative care principles, which is a form of leadership in itself.
That's a great point. And then there's the Hospice Medical Director, or HMD, a role that seems to encompass both direct patient care oversight and significant administrative duties. How has that role evolved?
The HMD's role has certainly broadened. They're responsible for the medical component of patient care, including the critical certification and recertification of terminal illness. They also supervise HCPs and can delegate duties, like participating in interdisciplinary team meetings, which speaks to their leadership in team coordination.
So it's not just about clinical expertise, but also about administrative acumen. What kind of administrative competencies are we talking about for HMDs?
They must demonstrate strong administrative competencies, including policy development and quality assurance. HMDs play a key role in quality assurance and performance improvement, or QPI programs, often focusing on high-risk areas. It's about ensuring the highest standards of care are consistently met.
And the interdisciplinary team, the IDT model, is so central to hospice care. How does that collaborative model influence the leadership skills needed today?
The IDT model is truly the heart of hospice. It demands exceptional communication and a deep commitment to collaborative care from all leaders, especially HPs. It's about skilled professionals working seamlessly together to meet the holistic needs of patients and their families.
It sounds like these roles require continuous learning and adaptation. Is there a strong emphasis on ongoing education and professional development for hospice leaders?
Absolutely. Ongoing training and leadership and business management is highly encouraged for HMDs. Many hospice agencies also support certification in hospice and palliative medicine, and participation in national organizations for continuing education is common practice. It's a field that never stops evolving, and neither can its leaders.
That really paints a comprehensive picture of how these leadership roles have evolved, moving far beyond just clinical expertise to encompass a wide array of administrative, strategic, and interpersonal skills. It's clear that the intrinsic motivation you mentioned earlier is truly put to the test by these multifaceted demands.
Indeed, the evolution reflects the growing complexity and importance of hospice care itself. Leaders aren't just managing, they're innovating, educating, and ensuring that the core mission of compassionate, high-quality end-of-life care remains at the forefront.
That's a really profound point, Rachel. It sounds like this isn't just a career path, but a calling that transforms the work itself. Can you elaborate on how hospice professionals view their work as rewarding and transformative, perhaps beyond just the financial compensation?
Absolutely, Jake. For many, the reward isn't measured in dollars, but in the profound impact we have. It's about witnessing the strength of families, providing comfort, and ensuring dignity at life's end. That experience is deeply transformative, not just for the patients and families, but for us as caregivers and leaders too.
So it's a reciprocal transformation where the act of giving also enriches the giver. That's a powerful dynamic. And how does the unique environment within hospice and palliative care specifically support leadership development and foster this kind of intrinsic motivation?
The environment itself is incredibly supportive. Because the work is so sensitive and requires such a high degree of empathy and collaboration, it naturally cultivates leaders who are not only skilled, but also deeply compassionate. There's a shared understanding of the mission that encourages growth and mutual support among colleagues.
That makes sense. The inherent nature of the work demands a certain type of leadership. Given this strong intrinsic drive, how does performance management in hospice care align with or leverage this personal calling? Is it different from other fields?
It's quite distinct. Performance management is most successful when it's deeply rooted in shared goal setting. We focus on outcomes that truly matter to patients and families. And when those goals are met, the reward is often a profound sense of personal satisfaction. Of course, financial remuneration is part of it, but the intrinsic reward is often the primary driver.
So the goals themselves are often intrinsically motivating. It's not just about hitting a number, but about achieving a meaningful impact. How do you balance that personal satisfaction with the more traditional financial incentives in terms of motivating a team?
It's a delicate balance, but for most hospice professionals, the personal satisfaction derived from providing exceptional care is paramount. Financial rewards are important, certainly, as a recognition of their hard work and expertise. But the true fuel, the real drive, comes from knowing they've made a tangible difference in someone's life during their most vulnerable moments.
That really underscores the unique nature of this field. It's clear that the personal calling isn't just a nice-to-have, but a foundational element that shapes everything from individual motivation to organizational performance. It's truly beyond the paycheck, as our title suggests.
Exactly. It's about purpose, connection, and the deep fulfillment that comes from serving others at a critical juncture. That's what makes hospice leadership so uniquely rewarding and, frankly, so essential.
That's a really profound point, Rachel. It sounds like this isn't just a career path, but a calling that transforms the work itself. Can you elaborate on how hospice professionals view their work as rewarding and transformative, perhaps beyond just the financial compensation?
Absolutely, Jake. For many, the reward isn't measured in dollars, but in the profound impact we have. It's about witnessing the strength of families, providing comfort, and ensuring dignity at life's end. That experience is deeply transformative, not just for the patients and families, but for us as caregivers and leaders too.
So it's a reciprocal transformation where the act of giving also enriches the giver. That's a powerful dynamic. And how does the unique environment within hospice and palliative care specifically support leadership development and foster this kind of intrinsic motivation?
The environment itself is incredibly supportive. Because the work is so sensitive and requires such a high degree of empathy and collaboration, it naturally cultivates leaders who are not only skilled, but also deeply compassionate. There's a shared understanding of the mission that encourages growth and mutual support among colleagues.
That makes sense. The inherent nature of the work demands a certain type of leadership. Given this strong intrinsic drive, how does performance management in hospice care align with or leverage this personal calling? Is it different from other fields?
It's quite distinct. Performance management is most successful when it's deeply rooted in shared goal setting. We focus on outcomes that truly matter to patients and families, and when those goals are met, the reward is often a profound sense of personal satisfaction. Of course, financial remuneration is part of it, but the intrinsic reward is often the primary driver.
So the goals themselves are often intrinsically motivating. It's not just about hitting a number, but about achieving a meaningful impact. How do you balance that personal satisfaction with the more traditional financial incentives in terms of motivating a team?
It's a delicate balance, but for most hospice professionals, the personal satisfaction derived from providing exceptional care is paramount. Financial rewards are important, certainly, as a recognition of their hard work and expertise, but the true fuel, the real drive, comes from knowing they've made a tangible difference in someone's life during their most vulnerable moments.
That really underscores the unique nature of this field. It's clear that the personal calling isn't just a nice to have, but a foundational element that shapes everything from individual motivation to organizational performance. It's truly beyond the paycheck, as our title suggests.
Exactly. It's about purpose, connection, and the deep fulfillment that comes from serving others at a critical juncture. That's what makes hospice leadership so uniquely rewarding and, frankly, so essential.
And speaking of essential, Rachel, let's dive into something absolutely fundamental to hospice care, the interdisciplinary model. How central is this approach, and what does it truly entail for patient care?
The interdisciplinary model is, without exaggeration, the very heart of hospice care. It's not just a best practice, it's actually mandated by Medicare hospice conditions of participation. This model ensures that all aspects of a patient's and family's needs are met comprehensively.
So it's a regulatory requirement, which really emphasizes its importance. What kind of professionals are typically involved in this interdisciplinary team, and how do they work together?
It brings together a diverse group of skilled professionals. You'll have physicians, nurses, social workers, spiritual counselors, and often bereavement specialists, among others. The key is that they're all working together, not in silos, to provide holistic care.
That sounds like it requires a tremendous amount of coordination. What are the critical elements that make an interdisciplinary team, or IDT, truly effective in practice?
Collaboration and communication are absolutely non-negotiable. For the IDT to function effectively, there must be seamless information exchange and a shared understanding of the patient's care plan. Everyone needs to be on the same page, contributing their unique expertise.
It's interesting that this model is so deeply embedded. Are there specific guidelines or frameworks that further define the IDT's role in hospice and palliative care?
Yes, absolutely. The IDT is recognized as a core element by significant bodies like the National Consensus Project Clinical Practice Guidelines. It's also highlighted by the National Quality Forum, underscoring its importance for quality and patient-centered care.
So it's not just about having different professionals, but about how they integrate their skills and perspectives. How does this collaborative approach ultimately benefit the patient and their family?
It ensures that every dimension of care, physical, emotional, spiritual, and social, is addressed. This integrated approach leads to better symptom management, greater emotional support, and a more peaceful experience for both the patient and their loved ones during a very challenging time.
That holistic view really makes a difference. And for leaders in hospice, how does fostering this interdisciplinary teamwork become a key part of their leadership role?
Leaders are crucial in cultivating an environment where this collaboration can thrive. They set the tone, ensure resources are available for effective communication, and champion the idea that every team member's contribution is vital. It's about building a culture of mutual respect and shared purpose.
It sounds like the interdisciplinary model isn't just a structure, but a living, breathing philosophy that underpins everything in hospice care. It truly embodies that beyond the paycheck purpose we've been discussing.
Precisely, Jake. It's where the personal calling meets professional practice, creating a powerful synergy that ultimately serves the patient and family in the most profound way possible.
That synergy sounds ideal, Rachel. But in any complex healthcare environment, there are always practical challenges. What are some of the significant administrative and compliance hurdles that hospice leaders, especially medical directors, face in ensuring that high-quality care is consistently delivered?
That's a crucial question, Jake. One of the primary challenges is navigating the intricate web of regulatory structures. For instance, hospices must establish robust credentialing processes for all physicians, ensuring strict compliance with Medicare and Medicaid requirements. This isn't just about paperwork, it's about verifying licenses, checking for any exclusions, and maintaining ongoing certification.
So it's a constant vigilance to meet those federal standards. I imagine that also extends to financial aspects and ensuring everything is above board.
Absolutely. Financial administration is another significant area. Hospice medical directors, for example, must demonstrate expertise in budget management and compliance with insurance benefits. And critically, compensation structures must always comply with the federal anti-kickback statute, ensuring that all services are valued at fair market rates. It's a complex landscape.
That brings up an interesting point about performance management. How do these strict compliance requirements and the need for financial prudence intersect with setting professional goals for hospice physicians, especially when we've talked so much about intrinsic motivation?
It's a delicate balance. While intrinsic motivation is key, performance management is most effective when it's focused on shared goal setting, with rewards tied to achieving those goals. Hospice physicians are expected to set measurable professional goals that align directly with the organization's objectives, and these are typically reviewed annually. It ensures accountability while still fostering that sense of purpose.
It sounds like a constant balancing act. How do hospice leaders manage the potential tension between the rigorous demands of compliance and financial oversight and the deeply human, compassionate mission of hospice care?
It truly requires strong leadership skills. Effective leaders integrate these administrative responsibilities into the overall mission. They communicate the why behind compliance, that it ultimately protects the integrity of the care we provide and ensures we can continue serving patients. It's about seeing compliance not as a burden, but as a framework that enables ethical and sustainable compassionate care.
That's a powerful perspective. Beyond the administrative side, hospice physicians also act as consultants, often analyzing complex clinical care. What are the specific challenges in that consultative role, especially when dealing with intricate medical cases?
The consultative role is incredibly demanding. HPs must be adept at analyzing complex clinical care scenarios, which often involves nuanced medical decision-making at the end of life. It requires not only deep medical expertise, but also the ability to communicate those complexities clearly to other healthcare professionals and families, often under emotional circumstances.
And I imagine that involves a lot of collaboration, not just within the hospice team, but with external providers who might not be as familiar with hospice principles.
Precisely. Working collegially with nurses, therapists, social workers, and even primary care physicians outside the hospice is vital. There's often a need to provide teachable moments, educating others on palliative care principles, which can be a challenge when time is limited and different care philosophies might be at play.
So it's not just about providing medical advice, but also about advocacy and education. How does this constant need for education and persuasion impact the leadership style required for hospice physicians?
It demands a very persuasive and motivational leadership style. HPS need to be able to influence others, build consensus, and advocate for the patient's best interests within a broader healthcare system. It's about leading through expertise and empathy, guiding others towards a shared understanding of holistic end-of-life care.
That makes perfect sense. And speaking of complexity, the source material mentions that hospice physicians can serve in various roles: medical director, team physician, inpatient physician, administrative roles. How does this role diversity add to the leadership challenges, and what skills are needed to navigate it?
The diversity of roles is indeed a challenge, but also an opportunity. Each role, whether it's clinical oversight as a team physician or strategic planning as a medical director, demands a specific set of skills. Leaders must be adaptable, capable of shifting between direct patient care, staff supervision, and executive leadership. It really underscores the need for continuous education and development.
So, ongoing training isn't just a nice to have, but a critical counterpoint to these multifaceted challenges. What kind of training and development are most beneficial for hospice leaders to stay ahead?
Exactly. Hospice medical directors, for instance, are strongly encouraged to pursue leadership training and credentialing through organizations like the American Association for Physician Leadership. Continuous education in both clinical and administrative competencies is absolutely vital. It's how leaders ensure they have the tools to manage the evolving landscape of hospice care effectively.
We discussed the interdisciplinary team earlier as the heart of hospice. Even with strong commitment, what are some of the practical challenges in maintaining the seamless collaboration and communication required for an IDT to be truly effective day in and day out?
Even with the best intentions, communication can be a hurdle, especially across different professional disciplines and shifts. Ensuring consistent information exchange, managing diverse personalities, and allocating sufficient time and resources for team meetings are ongoing challenges. Leaders must actively foster an environment where open dialogue and mutual respect are paramount.
And how do quality assurance and performance improvement, or QAP programs, specifically address these challenges and help leaders maintain high standards in such a complex environment?
QAP programs are essential. They provide a structured approach to identify high-risk areas, implement improvements, and monitor outcomes. For leaders, it's a critical tool for continuous learning and adaptation, ensuring that any challenges in care delivery or team function are systematically addressed and improved upon.
It's clear that hospice leadership is a dynamic field, constantly balancing profound purpose with significant practical and regulatory challenges. Rachel, thank you for shedding light on these crucial counterpoints.
My pleasure, Jake. It's a testament to the dedication of hospice professionals that they navigate these complexities while always keeping the patient's well-being at the forefront.
Rachel, as we wrap up today's conversation, it's truly striking how much we've explored the multifaceted nature of hospice leadership. We started with that powerful idea of a personal calling, and it's clear that this intrinsic motivation is what fuels leaders through the complex administrative, clinical, and collaborative demands we've discussed.
Absolutely, Jake. It's that deep sense of purpose that allows leaders to not only navigate the regulatory challenges and strategic planning, but also to foster the incredible teamwork within the interdisciplinary model. Ultimately, it's about ensuring compassionate, high-quality care, and that's a reward in itself.
Indeed, it's been an incredibly insightful discussion, truly going beyond the paycheck to understand the profound impact and dedication required in this vital field. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise, Rachel.
My pleasure, Jake. It's always a privilege.